All right, there we go. Now I just got to get this email out so people can hop into the live. People don't want to get into the live, so I got to email them the link. Guys, the live is starting in 7 minutes. I'm just getting everything set up right now. This is going to be a live negotiation training. Like I said, live starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's 7 minutes. You can do whatever you got to do. Go use the bathroom, grab some water, get some popcorn, grab a notepad, because we are going to get started in 7 minutes on the dottery, on the dot. Going to get started at 8 on the dot. That's like 5 minutes. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm sending out an email to everybody and a text so you know they can know that they need to hop on. Live training starts in 5 minutes, guys. 5 minutes. Go get your popcorn, potato chips, whatever you do. We're gonna be getting started in a bit here. Hey, yo, I have been looking for you. That's kind of sus, bruh. TWG23 was good, family. Ain't shit, just getting ready for this live, fam. All right, y'all. So the person that we're doing the negotiation critique for is joining momentarily. So I'm just waiting on them to hop on the live. I'm gonna give everybody a couple minutes to get in, and then we'll get started.
Yo,
Hello?
can you hear? Yo,
Hello?
what up? A
What's up?
little bit of an echo.
What's up? Yeah, there's definitely an echo. I'm trying to figure out why. Is it you? I don't think it's me. Echo. I'm trying to figure out why. Is it you? I don't think it's
Oh
me.
wait, hold up.
Figure out why. Is it you?
All right, it should be good now.
All right, cool, cool, cool. So just give me a second. I just got to get this email out.
Got you.
So what's your name? Because I thought I was helping Cheryl, but you're
So
not.
that's my grandma. I'm on my grandma's account because I'm not
Okay,
home.
that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah,
So what's your name?
yeah. Tice.
Tice? All right, nice to
Yeah.
meet you, Tice.
Nice to meet you, bro.
Do you have are you on your computer?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Because you're gonna need to share your screen and we're gonna have to take a look at those combos that you've been struggling with.
All right.
So do you manage your own ads or did you hire it out?
Yeah, I manage my own ads right now.
Okay. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Have you ever had anyone run them for you before?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. What made you decide to stop? Hello?
Sorry about that. My this alarm was going off downstairs.
Oh, you're fine.
It was super expensive for the cost that I was doing it, and I really couldn't close any of the leads. So it was kind of just like
Mhm.
kind of dumping everything and
That
paying
makes
on top of that, paying for the ads, and I just couldn't really
yeah.
close anything at all. So
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. That's typically what a lot of new people go through. Because if you don't know how to negotiate, then it doesn't matter how good the ads are. You won't
yeah, I know that's the
be
problem.
able to close the leads.
Yeah.
So, and I see a lot of people run into it all the time. And when you were sending me the combos that you were having, I'm like, man, there's so much that we can improve on here. So I always get excited
Really?
when I see stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I didn't really like. I was kind of like clueless, like totally clueless.
No, it's good. So a common mistake that a lot of people make in this business is I have one of my students that actually did this recently. Um, he saw that somebody had a listing, and so he just started throwing offers at the guy. And I'm like, you
Uh-huh.
can't do that. When you go to a car dealership with your car, they don't even do that to you. And I always
Yeah.
try to use references that people are super familiar with. And a car dealership is one of them, right? Like you don't go to a car dealer and they just start giving you an offer. They ask you, They ask you questions, they have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
It's a lot more personal, but for some reason when we get into our business, we forget that. And
Mm-hmm.
we start doing things a little backwards, and that's why a lot of the times we lose the deal. So
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna take a look at your combos. Do you have them up already?
Let me get those up.
Give me the
Um,
toughest one that you had this week.
so what do I do? Do my just like like a split screen?
Yeah, you're gonna share your screen.
Oh, share my screen.
Yeah, let me turn on the option for you to do that. You should be able to do it now. All right. What up, Kenny? Chris is here. I see you, Chris. All right, we got a bunch of people on the live on Instagram.
I think I send a request to you.
No, that was just to record. Thanks for reminding me. I actually need to do that too.
Oh,
All right, so you just got to hit the share screen button.
all
It's
right.
it's right next to where it says participants. It's two blocks to the right.
All right. I'm logging on to the trying to log on to the Facebook Messenger right now. All right.
All right, so for those of you who are curious about what we're doing here today, we're doing a live negotiation training. So I'm going to be going over different conversations, and I'm going to be providing feedback and tips and tricks that you guys can use to close people. And if we have time at the end, Nolan, I see you are on the live on Instagram. Nolan, I'll DM you the link for the Zoom if we have time at the end, and I can go over some of yours too.
Share screen. All right. Should be shared now, right?
All right. Yes.
All
Yes,
right.
we can see it. Okay.
All right.
So show me which one you need help with.
All right. Yeah, let me see the people that I sent you. Um, Here, let's say this guy.
Okay. All right, cool. So is this your approach with every lead?
Yeah, pretty much.
So they'll tell you what they have and then you'll just start asking them questions?
Yeah, this is pretty much really how it goes.
All right. So a little background on me before I start, just telling you what to do. I've been in sales for a little over, I want to say like 12, 13 years. I started in college. I did multi-level marketing. I did Amway. I went to all the meetings. I recruited people. Then I
Hmm.
did door-to-door energy. I was riding the ferry all over New York, going to different places, trying to sell people energy and selling businesses energy. Eventually, I leveled up, got into banking. Um, Worked my way up the corporate ladder in the banking industry, got to corporate and made my way back to the branch as a private client banker, where my job was literally to convince multimillionaires to bring their money over from their bank to my bank. So
Hmm.
these are guys with Vanguard, Fidelity, Merrill Lynch, all that good stuff. Like they have a shit ton of money. Executive officers, board of directors, guys who run churches, church funds, and things like that. Or it's just they have a whole
Yeah,
lot of money. And the reason that I mention that is because I genuinely believe if you can convince those kinds of people to take the actions that you want them to take because they have money, they don't need to listen to you,
yeah,
especially when they know that you don't have the kind of money that they're making, yet you're trying to tell them how to spend it. If you can convince those people, you can pretty much feel really, really confident in your ability to negotiate. And that's basically where I am right now. I'm very confident in my ability to negotiate. I have a really, really high rate and everything that I teach people to do works. I'm not saying it works 100% of the time, but I'm
hmm,
saying that if you follow the strategies that I'm going to teach you, it will work in the scenarios where other things may not. Or if it's a closable lead, you're going to close the lead. Um,
Hmm.
don't use scripts. I don't teach scripts. I I've been taught in sales that it's great to use scripts. Um, however, I don't know. They don't, some people are better without them.
Hmm.
And so what I'm going to teach you is kind of a very unscripted approach. It's not to say you're not always saying the same thing, but it's more so teaching you how to think in different situations rather than just acting like a robot, which is what a lot of people in this industry do. A lot of people, they'll
Yeah.
look at the script that they got from a course or that they learned from somebody, and they'll just keep following the same thing over and over and over, and they'll just repeat the same thing. Like, we can use AI for that. What's the purpose of having you there if you're
Yeah,
just going
no.
to do the same stuff?
Yeah.
So when someone messages you, I'll tell you how I would handle this conversation differently. So your AI replied, "Hi Larry, please let me know how I can help you." He said, "I got an iPhone 15 Plus." My first response would be something like, "Great, when would you like to meet to sell it?" Or "How much are you trying to get for it?" Or "What made you decide to sell it?" I want to have a conversation about them. So, when would you like to sell? How much do you want? When would you like to meet? How soon do you want to meet? I'm asking questions about them. I don't care about the device.
Hmm.
Does that make sense? The
Yeah.
device is irrelevant. The device is completely irrelevant right now. He has a phone. He's selling it because he wants cash. So your objective as the buyer is to learn a few things. Why does he need the cash? How much cash does he need? And how soon does he need it? That's your job. And you don't need a script to tell you that. You just need to get answers to those questions. And depending on his answers to those questions, that's how you close the lead. That makes sense?
Hmm.
So like typically the way that the conversation will go is, Larry messages you, he has a 15 plus. You ask Larry how much he wants, right? He
Yeah.
tells you. And your job as a buyer, and I tell all my students this, your job is not to go back and forth with the customer trying to get the best deal possible.
Yeah.
Think of like a cop. A cop's job is to, it's not to prove someone guilty. It's actually to eliminate them as a suspect. So like in this example, your job is to try and justify his price. So if he says some crazy number like $500, you're not going to be like, "Oh, we normally pay XYZ," because that's what most people do. What you want to do in that situation is you want to try to justify the price. The only way that it would make sense to give him $500 for a 15 plus is if it's brand new in the box and it's unlocked. And I assume the best of everybody. So I just ask him, "Okay, based on the price that you asking, I'm assuming that this phone is brand new in the box
Yeah.
unlocked."
Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
It
I
does a
never
couple
thought about
things.
that.
One, it makes it kind of trips people up sometimes, right? So if this guy has no idea the value of the phone and he's just throwing out random numbers, now it starts to make him think like, "Oh no, why would you think that?" "Oh, I mean, because $500 is normally what we buy them for new in the box." And I really
Mhm.
like this approach because you're not making an offer.
Yeah.
You're just telling him how much you would buy it for, typically based on the condition and the price that he's asking. You're not even saying no, but he can assume that he won't be able to get that for the phone. And I always tell people, the first person who throws out a price typically loses in a negotiation, because if he knows what your anchor is, he's either going to try to he's only going to try to pull it up higher. He's
Yeah.
going to try to
Yeah. I
pull
know.
up the anchor. So I love to let the customer set the anchor, and I also like to let the customer be the one to start to pull it up. I don't like to touch the anchor. I like to just watch it, and the price is the anchor. Rather you say it or they say it, it's the anchor. And I did the
Mhm.
same thing when I was talking to these guys on the phone, right? You have all this money at this bank. Oh, how much money do you have over there? "Oh, I don't feel comfortable sharing." That's fine. How long you been with them? Oh, you know, X amount of years. What made you choose them? Right. So like I'm asking questions about them and why they have their money over there. Same thing with the phone. It's okay if the lead doesn't want to answer your question about the price. You can ask something else. If he doesn't know what he wants, okay, why are you trying to sell it? You're trying to measure his level of desperation so that when you start making offers, you kind of have a good idea what a respectable offer is. Because if he says something like, oh, I just upgraded, he's not super motivated. But if he says something like, oh, I got to pay my rent, you know that this guy is very, very high intent. And it gives you data that you can use in future negotiations. Like, oh, why didn't I close this lead? He really needed the money. And then you can kind of scroll back and look at what you did wrong in the conversation versus if you know it's somebody that didn't really need the cash, you don't have to feel too bad if you didn't close. That's why asking the questions are important. That makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Scroll down a little bit. All right. Is there a passcode on the phone? It was asking for one, and you don't know the password, so you can't get into the phone, correct? What condition is it in? Perfect. All right. So I don't I don't think that anything is wrong with the questions that you ask. But again, I personally don't like making offers on stuff when people are messaging me on my ads because we know that they want a lot of money. And what I tell people all the time is the best time for you to really start making offers is at the actual meetup. You're
So you
there.
don't even make an offer at all, and you just kind of set up the location, and then you figure out the price when you're there.
Not necessarily. I like to have an anchor um before the meetup.
Do you kind of give them like a ballpark like estimate?
So like for example, in what I like to do is I like to get the customer to lie. I like to get the customer to lie because if they lie to you, you have an excuse to make a new offer at the meetup.
Mhm.
So like in this situation, you know, the less information that you have, the better. Because once you get them to set a price up, then you can start doing when you get there, you can start doing all of that extra stuff. Like, oh, you know, you didn't tell me it was passcode locked. You didn't tell me that you didn't know what carrier it was. Like, you
Mhm.
always want to assume the best, but prepare for the worst. So, like, you, I wouldn't have asked them about the passcode. I would have just got there, saw that it was passcode locked, and be like, bro, you didn't mention this to me. And I would also have another meetup scheduled like 15 minutes later or like 30 minutes later. That way, if things went bad with this guy and we weren't able to do a deal, I'm not wasting my time at the location because I already have another appointment. So leads
Yeah.
like this, I always double or triple book. I mean, I always double or triple book anyway, but because sometimes people don't show up. But in the event that he does show up and things don't go the way that you want them to, you want to make sure you have another appointment lined up so that you're not wasting your time. And that's why this method only works if you're booking multiple appointments. And typically your
Mhm.
calendar should be booked.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like I was saying, I always when I like to let them name their price first so that I can start kind of beating them down by asking them questions, assuming a really good condition phone based on the price that they ask.
Hmm.
That's like that is one of the best approaches that you can take. But again, it all depends on how the conversation starts and what the flow is and like their personality. There's a lot of factors that go into it, but that approach typically works on most people. I had one of my guys use it the other day, and he made like I think it was like $150 in profit on a phone. I had another guy that bought a laptop where he made like $700 profit on it simply by asking them how much they wanted. People
Yeah.
will lowball themselves. They will.
Really?
But yes, people lowball themselves all the time. But one thing that you need to understand is that they don't trust you. So whatever price that you say first, they're gonna assume it's not your best. It's not the
Yeah.
highest that you can
I
do.
realize that. Yeah.
They're always going to assume that whatever number you throw, think about it. Like if you try to sell your car at a car dealer, you're going to, oh, this guy's lowballing me. Then you're going to go look on Kelly Blue Book. You're going to see what it's selling for. And you go, oh man, he trying to make $5,000 profit on me. I'll just sell the car
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
It's like, So that's why I always say it's best to ask people how much they want first.
And then you don't really ask questions after that, like if it's unlocked or whatever.
I don't really ask too many questions. The only time that I ask questions is if I'm trying to justify a price. So let's say, for example, like if the price just makes sense for me, I'm not asking questions. If he says, "Oh, I want, like $30 for an iPhone XR," I don't need to know anything. The phone could be for parts, and I'm still making enough money just gutting the phone. You want $30? I'll give you $30. Now, if it's an XR and he says something like, "Oh, I want $160," all right, I'm asking you, is it brand new in the box?
Yeah. So
Is
you
that
just say like, I'm assuming it's unlocked, brand new in the box. Is that kind of what you say?
Yes, yes. I'm not asking them questions because the reality is most people that you speak to are idiots. They're dumb, and you
I
know it
know.
because you deal with it every day. So the less questions that you ask, the better because people are dumb. And if you just remember that about people, you'll realize that you're saving yourself a ton of headache by just giving them a bunch of things that they can just say yes or no to rather than making them type stuff out. When you ask them, is the phone unlocked? Duh, I had it with Metro. Like they're gonna
Yeah, I know. It's so
their
difficult.
brain has to like recalibrate. So you don't
Yeah.
want them to do that. You just want to, all right, so based on what you're asking, I'm assuming that it's unlocked brand new in the box. And then they're gonna say no.
hmm
And then you can start, asking other questions like, oh, okay, so it's not paid off, right? Like you can start assuming the things that will drop the price down
Okay.
as opposed to letting them lead the conversation by asking them all these questions. You just want, what do you have? How much do you want for it? And once they give you those two answers, then you can start negotiating if you feel like you want to negotiate. They're either going to give you a price or they're going to ask you for one. And if they ask you for a price, give them the best price possible. We buy these brand new for this amount. Is your phone brand new for this amount? Oh no.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Then you could start asking them, well, is it in mint condition? Always go a tier down. All right, if your phone is not brand new in the box, is it perfect? Is it mint condition? Is it used but in mint condition? Yes. Cool. We normally buy these for like this price, and they're typically going to take the offer because the mint condition everybody wants to sell their phone in a mint condition price. They'll
Yeah.
meet you. You're going to get there. I'm so excited to buy this phone. I already got somebody lined up to buy it. Let me take a look at it, make sure it's in mint condition. I got the cash ready. You take a look at it, get your flashlight. Yo, I see some scratches here. Your battery health is low. It's a crack. Yo, bro, I literally had a lady send me a phone earlier this week, and she said her phone was in good condition. I was hyped because I sell iPhone 11s like water. I was supposed to give her like $120 for the phone. I could resell that for 190 after fees. I
hmm
get the phone, it has a huge crack on the back. So I messaged her. I was like, your phone is cracked. And she started arguing with me. Oh, the phone is like new. The crack is not even noticeable. I'm like, but I told you that if the phone has a crack, I couldn't give you that price. Whatever, I'll take the new price. I'm like, all right, take your $60. Like, but the point that I'm trying to make is that if you give people the opportunity to lie to you, they're going to because everybody wants to get one over. So give them the opportunity to lie. If somebody is bold enough to try to lie to you, let them because you're just gonna find out the truth at the meetup anyway.
hmm
You have to let them think that they're gonna get one over on you and let them think that you're dumb. And when you get there and they see that you're actually smart, you're setting the precedent for them that everybody that they meet they're gonna go through the same thing with. They might as well just sell it to you because they didn't think that these phone buyers were so smart.
Yeah. Yeah.
They think you're dumb, play dumb. There's no reason for you to be smart. You don't need to be smart. Be dumb. Be dumb as hell. People think I am dumb as hell. And then when I get their phone, I'm Albert Einstein.
Yeah. I like that.
That's it.
Let
You
me,
want to go over another one?
yeah, let me look for another one.
Let me view some comments because I'm sure we got some people saying some
Fa-
things in the chat.
Facebook comments? Or oh wait, you're talking about your live comments?
So I'm live on Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook right now.
Okay.
So someone said, all right, let me see. We got one on Instagram. Mr. Richards, tips on how to get them to meet us instead of driving out 20 plus minutes. Part of that is knowing why they want to sell. Um, if you know why they want to sell, it's easy to figure out if they're going to be willing to go to you. But you know, that's also part of your negotiation strategy. Like you have to be a skilled negotiator to convince someone to meet up with you. I've never really had issues with that. But my recommendation is run your ads closer to you. If you're having people that want you to drive 20 minutes out, you're just running your ads too far away. Or maybe you just need to have a central location in their area and schedule multiple meetups so that you don't have to worry about wasting time.
What mile radius would you recommend?
I would start at plus 5 miles. And, you know, depending on the traffic that you get, I would slowly expand from there.
Okay.
Someone said, can you do a live about finding the price to sell a phone locally? Sure. Message me on Instagram, screenshot your comment, and I will do the live training with you. Just give me a second. I'm just trying to catch up with all of these comments. All right. I'm caught up now. I'm caught up now.
All right.
All right. So now where's the next one that we're looking at?
So this guy was like a kind of difficult kind of guy. I don't know.
Rap
But
Pilot. All right.
get out.
All right, let's ain't from the Bronx. Oh, my favorite. New Yorker. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you have for sale? 15 Pro Max. All right. So same deal. What do you have for sale? How much you want for it? Right?
Mhm.
So because you start asking these questions in his mind, oh yeah, this guy gonna try to beat me in the head. He wanna know if my phone is locked. I know he can unlock it. Don't
Yeah,
even give
I
an
get that all
opportunity
the
to start
time.
thinking that about you. Just what do you have? How much you want? And then when you ask them that, because with this guy, the conversation would have went way differently. You, like I said, people want fast results. They don't like answering all of these questions. You already
Yeah,
asked him 3 questions and he still hasn't gotten a price.
I
He could go
know.
on the website, click a couple buttons. He don't got to talk to nobody and he can get a price. He go to Eco ATM, press a couple buttons and get a price, get paid out right there. You want to be faster than that. What do
Hmm.
you want? Nobody's doing that. Nobody is, what do you want? How much you want? Nobody's doing that. Everybody's wants to ask all this shit because they don't want to waste their time and go to the meetup and actually speak to the lead because they don't know how to negotiate because they're always using a script.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he said it's T-Mobile. You jailbreak it yourself. Phone is unlocked. Oh boy. So it was used T-Mobile, press unlock, carrier T-Mobile. It's more questions. So he's getting irritated. I could feel it.
Yeah.
He's New York shit. He's
I can feel it
irritated.
too.
He
Yeah.
keeping his responses short and just like, yo, bro. In his mind, when he's right, I haven't even seen the whole conversation. I feel like he's gonna curse you out or like say something kind of like cursing you out, maybe kind of passively. But let's keep going and see if I'm right. Carrier T-Mobile, does the phone say no SIM restrictions or a SIM lock? No, I just said, yeah, he tight, bro. You,
Yeah,
I
I
just
know.
said the phone brand new.
I know it's terrible.
Oh. Does the phone say no SIM restrictions or SIM lock? No, I just said the phone's brand new. The phone can be brand new and still be locked. Is the phone sealed in box? All right, so now y'all arguing. You might not feel that way, but you're basically having an argument with the customer
Really?
now because yes, because um like you're correcting him and people hate being corrected.
Yeah.
People hate being corrected. He doesn't want to be, people want to be right. My phone is brand new. All right, cool. And but now you're correcting him. The phone can be brand new and still be locked. Somebody from New York is gonna take that as you being sarcastic. So scroll down a little bit. No, it's not locked. It's not in the box. Where are you located? Bronx, New York. We're located in Brick, New Jersey. Can you meet in New Brunswick? I have no transportation there. Okay. Well, mailing's also an option, of course. After sending payment, you mail the phone to us, we inspect it and make sure it matches what you say. Yeah, I felt it coming.
Uh,
Pure New York bullshit, bro. It hit you. He threw the Frank immediately through the
yeah.
Frank. He not getting his way, and he threw the Frank.
Do you ever offer mail-ins? I feel like you can't really like no one will really trust you unless you have like a big like hundreds of reviews. Like I've had a couple people that mailed phones to me and they did trust me, but
Get
I feel
everything
like
through the mail.
90% of people really don't trust me.
Everything I get is through the mail. Let's see how many trade-ins I got today. Today,
How do you approach that like to the
mm,
mailings? Because like 90% of the people don't trust me.
my son said we got 16 devices in today, but I'm talking about trade-ins. So today, 33 people submitted trade-ins on our website. Um, so how do we approach it? It's ads, man. So I had a developer build my website, and but I already had the brand, right? Like if you look at my following, I
Yeah,
probably
it's
have
crazy. It's crazy.
like 150,000 across all platforms.
Hmm.
Um, but I started just like you. I was in New York City and I was just flipping locally. But the thing is, I always took photos. So if I was doing something, if I was doing a meetup, I took photos with the people that I was meeting up with and I posted them on social media. I made videos that went viral. I post a lot about my journey all the time. And you have to do that. Like if you want a reputable brand that people trust, you have to post about the journey. You have to share your content. People want to see you start from the bottom. A lot of people that sell me stuff, they'll hit me up like, "Yo, I remember when you was doing repairs out your apartment in the Bronx, right? Your little apartment, and you was still driving the Nissan. I see you leveled up. You got that." Like people like to feel like they contributed, and they legit do. You know,
Hmm.
they want to be a part of your success. So you got to
Yeah.
share the journey if you want to blow up, especially in an industry like this. You want to start posting what it is you're doing. Take photos with your clients, share that. That'll help you build trust. If you get a mail in, make a video of you opening it up. Take a photo. Hey, we just got this phone in from, Justin from Idaho. Justin got paid out for his phone. And then you show Justin's phone in the video, right? Post it, tag him, ask if you could tag him, do stuff like that. It doesn't matter if it's a friend or a family member, do it. But you have to make the content because the first thing that people do when they find out about your company is they look you up online, they Google you, they go on Instagram, they go on Facebook. And all of this comes into play when you're negotiating. How many reviews do you have? Are there good reviews? Are there bad reviews? They're looking at as they're messaging you, they're looking at all this stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
who's this guy offering me money? Is he legit? Is this a scam? Like
Hmm.
they're
Yeah.
they're doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you have a good amount of reviews?
Not really that much. I have six all 5-star reviews, but that's all I got.
What about Google My Business?
I don't even have a Google.
Gotta make one.
Really?
Gotta make one like immediately. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because
Like make a website?
no, just the Google My Business page so that when people type in sell my phone in your area, you pop up. Because this is the hidden art of negotiation, right? So a lot of people don't realize, like you said, oh, nobody trusts me. And that's key. Nobody trusts me enough to mail in their phones, but
Yeah.
people mail in phones to me all the time. Why? Because I have an online presence. So I go through the same things you go through. When people try to sell me phones, they want to do their research on me. So if someone sends me a message on Facebook, they're going to Google me. They're going to look at me up on Instagram. They're going to look me up on TikTok, Twitter. And I have an account on all of the, I even have a Snapchat, right?
Really?
So they're going to look me up everywhere to see, am I a real person? And, usually someone sees you on a couple platforms, they're going to assume you're legit.
Yeah.
Even though, like, you can fake all that shit. The people make fake profiles all the time. If people see you on all these different platforms, they're gonna be like, "Oh wow, yeah, like this guy must be legit." But the key is to be active. You got to
Mhm.
be active. Make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. I really wanted to kind of like get a guide on like where to I never knew Google My Business. Like I never
It's
thought of that.
huge, and the crazy thing is, it only takes like 5 minutes to set up a profile.
Really?
Yep, I can send you the link to do it. Jerry, Jerry, go check on your brother.
So what is Google My Business? Like what exactly
Let me Google My Business is, I don't know if you've ever seen like people's pages and they have like all these stars next to them, the reviews. You have
uh
to have a Google My Business profile in order for people to review your business on Google.
oh, all
I'm gonna send you the link to it
right.
so that you can make a profile, but you definitely need to make one. Did you get it?
Yeah, I
I
think
sent Yeah.
yes.
You definitely
Yeah.
you definitely gotta do that.
All right.
All right. Is there another one you wanted to go over?
Yeah, here's another one. This guy
Let's
hit
see.
me up twice. So just yeah, just check it over.
So, okay, perfect. Same thing here. And this is why I don't like making the offer because once you give somebody a price that they don't like, they get offended and then they don't want to talk to you anymore.
Yeah.
Had you asked this guy for a price first, he might have been open to talk to you. And he also said that the phones are mint and you gave him like a grade B price. You
Hmm.
didn't give him mint condition price. That phone in mint condition, let's see. And this is why I say that it's very, very important to take people at their word and make them offers based on that. Just like all right. So 12 Pro Max mint condition. Mint condition right now is going on Swappa for is going for 128 gig, $464. After fees, that's like 420. All right. And you didn't know the storage or anything like that. You just made the offer. So I would say you could have probably offered him like 350 if you were gonna make an offer.
Uh-huh.
Maybe even a little more than that. Because his phone's not gonna be mint. It's not gonna be mint. I promise you, his phone's not gonna be mint.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, you don't even know the storage, right? So, oh no, he said they're both 128 gig. Okay. So yeah, you could have offered them like 350, sold it for 460. You would have made like 420 after fees. That's $70 in profit. Or you
Hmm.
could have sold it in a Facebook group. You'd have made good money off that phone if it is actually mint. But the good news is we know it's not. So then you get there and then you make the real offer at the meetup because he's already there. Why? Because his phone's not in mint condition. I literally just went through this with somebody today. Let me see if I could find the convo. It was in text messages. Um, this guy hit me up. He sold me an iPhone 11 as mint condition. Let me see if I can find the phone. Um, can you see this? Can you see
Like
that around the
yeah,
charger?
yeah, I can see
Okay.
that. Yeah.
So obviously this phone's not in mint condition. It's not in mint condition because mint condition means mint. It means it's just like it was when it came out the box. So
Hmm.
I offered him like $70 less or something. No, actually I offered him like $90 less. And he's like, he wanted me to come up $50. And I was like, let's just meet at 100. And he agreed to it. And I sent him the money and I'm gonna sell the phone. I'll probably make like $50, $60. And that's really all I'm aiming for ever anyway, because if you can just consistently make $50, $60, you're eating good.
Yeah.
Uh, but the point that I'm trying to make is I took his word for it initially. I never argue with people. If somebody tells me their phone is mint, I'm not gonna argue with them. Because sometimes I do. Sometimes people actually send me in phones that are mint condition, and when they're mint, I give them mint price. I'm not gonna
Uh,
back out on my word. Yeah, I'm making less profit, but I'm still making a profit.
yeah.
If you can actually give people if their phone is actually in mint condition, you can give them what they want typically and still make a good profit because phones in mint condition sell for a lot more than phones in B or C
Yeah.
rate. So
Yeah.
it's not like you're losing anything anyway. You're gaining a client, and then at the meetup, you could probably upsell him on other stuff like iPads, Apple Watches, because Apple users typically have multiple Apple products.
Hmm.
You can ask, hey, what else do you have for sale? You don't have to just think to yourself, this is all that I'm getting out of the deal. If you can't agree on the phones, that's fine. You know what? I really want to help put some cash in your pocket. maybe you have other electronics that you can sell to get you closer to how much you want to get. You got to start, and that's why I said it's
I
important
like
to
that.
ask why they're selling. Because if it's for something like a car payment, they're absolutely gonna need to try and find somebody who can give them what they need to make that car payment. The reason that they won't sell to you is not personal. It's just that they're better off holding on to that phone for a little bit more money until someone could give them what they need to pay that bill. Because if they can't pay the bill, there's no reason for them to sell the phone anyway. That's why
Mm-hmm.
it's important to just help them out by asking them why they need it. Why do you need the cash in the first place?
Mm-hmm. So do you normally sell on like like Swappa and or do you sell overseas or do you normally sell like on
So
Swappa and
I do sell overseas, but not in the way that you might think. So the people that I sell to don't have price lists. I have a guy in Brazil that usually hits me up once or twice a week. He spends probably like 4 or 5 grand with me, and then I don't hear from him again until the following week. He just hit me up yesterday. One of the phones that I sold him had an issue. He wants $100 credit. I said, "Fuck it, bro. I'll just give you the credit on your next order." A lot of people would try and argue with the guy and say, "Oh, he's scamming." Bro, overseas buyers pay so much money, it doesn't even matter if they get you for $100 because you're making way more than you would selling it elsewhere anyway. You have to treat these people like they're royalty because they fucking are to you. Like
yeah, yeah, I
they're
know.
they're paying you way more, like way more than
Really? Like
you get over here. Yeah. So in Brazil, the markup on the phones, I would say it's probably like 5 or 6% less than what you get on eBay. And I'm talking about like the total, not the subtotal, the total. So like if a phone is listed on eBay for 599, 5% less of that is like 575, they'd pay you 575 for that phone. With eBay, eBay is charging you like 12% in fees.
yeah,
So you're
yeah.
making an additional like 6, 7% in profit. And eBay also charges fees on the taxes too, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you could skip the payment processor and get the money wired directly into your account, you're making additional profit.
Where do you find people like that? I've been
They find you.
really
They always find you.
like through
Yes.
what, like social media, like
It's a
through your
combination of social media, your online seller platforms. That's why people who say, "Oh, eBay and all these other sites are a waste of time," I just laugh because they don't really understand the true purpose of them. People will find you on these platforms and they will find a way to get in touch with you directly, I promise. And that's why it's important to keep your name and your brand consistent. Anywhere you look for me, I am NYC Phone Buyer on eBay, on Swappa, on Google, on Facebook, on TikTok, on Twitter. I am NYC Phone Buyer. I'm very easy to locate because I have the same name everywhere. If you bought from me, if you sold to me, and you just Google me, you're gonna see all my socials pop up. Boom.
yeah.
You have to be easily accessible like that. Everybody that's contacted me from overseas has bought from me somewhere before, and they're just like, "Yo, I was looking for you. I looked up your brand. I tried to find your store, and I found your phone number." Cool.
Yeah, that's
I
pretty
saw
sick.
your post. I saw your post on Instagram. Uh, I found your page. I saw you sell phones online. Can I buy from you? And they just find you.
Hmm. You also buy phones on eBay too, right?
I do. Yep. Yep. Very actively. I just got a new seller last week from there. Sold me a bunch of phones.
Mostly cracked phones or like just anything?
Mostly cracked. I only buy cracked.
Really?
Cracked. Yeah. That's pretty much what I go after.
Okay.
I don't really have a need for B grade or A grade stuff. I don't make enough money on it. And I actually have an in-house repair tech. So my objective is to find work for him to do. Like I don't I'm he
Oh
can't
yeah.
work on a B grade phone.
Hmm.
So it makes more sense for me to find cracked phones to give him. I'm paying him hourly, and then I make profit on the spread between how many phones he can repair in an hour. Like that's how I make my
Hmm.
money.
Yeah.
And then I also do repairs. I focus on back glass repairs.
Mhm.
So here, you're going back and forth with the customer again. The Pro Maxes are currently selling for around 400 on eBay. The fees are at least minus 80. You would end up selling for 320. You have to wait to sell it and get paid by eBay also. I'll boost it up to 350 for the 12 Pro Max and 270 for the 12 Pro for a total of 620 cash tomorrow. He said he sold it. Okay. Within an hour. I don't doubt it. That don't mean it ain't gonna get returned. Scroll down.
And then this was just the this was like to like the other
Man,
day.
you lowballed the shit out of him, bro.
Really? For
Damn.
this? That's I kind of base it off of what I get paid from that from like a local buyer.
Local buyer. What does he pay you?
He would be paying me like 380 for that.
Jesus Christ. 380? Let me see. Let me see what my company's buying those for. Well, we don't buy blacklisted, but just 14 Pro Max in general, carrier log B. We're buying that for 455. This
Really?
guy, yes, this guy is fucking destroying you. Like on these.
Yeah.
You don't sell to anybody with a price sheet?
I do, but I like to move like certain phones like quick to get quick cash. Because if I know that, one of my like suppliers is giving me 10K worth of phones tomorrow and I don't have 10K, then I gotta like move like quick cash to like a local buyer so I could get like quick cash, you
Gotcha.
know?
I mean, you could always do a PayPal invoice.
Mm-hmm. PayPal,
Mm-hmm.
like prepaid, you're
How old are
talking
you?
16.
Oh, so you probably I don't think you can have a PayPal account yet.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You'd have to use your grandmother's or your mom's or something like that.
Mhm. So you
Um,
think this was probably just mainly the price you're saying, right?
yeah, I would have asked him how much he wanted, and he said he'll get 450 for it. He's absolutely right. He might be
Really?
a reseller. He may be a reseller. He may
Hmm.
be a reseller. If he's constantly hitting you up with phones, he's probably a reseller. But those can be some of your best leads, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
Yeah, he even said it. If it wasn't locked to carry, it would have been overseas to my buyers right now. He is a reseller.
Yeah.
Definitely a reseller. So with guys like that, I always try to find how can we do business together, right? Like everybody has their own niche and things that they're good in. Like I'm really good for cracked phones. Everybody that has cracked phones for sale, they typically always come to me because I'm really fucking good at repairs and they know it. Um, so they'll come to me to sell their phones, right? But people know that I might not pay the best pricing on new inbox stuff. And I'm transparent about that. So when you're dealing with other resellers, you want to find out what can you help them out with. He probably doesn't have a buyer for things that aren't iPhones. And so that might be where you can come in. It's hard to sell Apple Watches, Samsungs, tablets, things like that. He might not have an immediate buyer for that. And so that may be you guys' way to network,
Hmm.
right? Or maybe you can sell to him. I mean, if he's selling those phones for 450 and he's local to you, you might be able to sell to him instead of
Yeah.
your other guy.
So should I
If you
probably hit this guy back up and say something?
I would ask, are you a reseller? Maybe you could buy from me or something. Like the price, if he's selling on eBay for 450, like maybe he could be your new cash guy. I think he's a reseller.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. Because he says overseas to my buyers by
Yeah,
now.
so you definitely gotta you have to get really, really good at networking with people. Not everybody, especially when it's another reseller. Sometimes you can. I've sold to other resellers before in my area, other phone flippers. I just had a guy from a Facebook group buy from me the other day, and he hit me up like, "Yo, you felled it?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's me." He bought a 14 plus off of me, and he sold it. He sold it to somebody. So I don't mind selling to other flippers, and
Yeah.
you shouldn't either. You just got to be willing to network.
Hmm.
Let me check some of the comments because I know people are probably like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
What do you do when
no,
people click on your ad and don't respond to your question? I block them. Um, I bought your
Yeah.
program. Will this live stream be in there? It's gonna be in the Facebook group. It's gonna be in the Facebook group. Do you Cash App or Apple Pay them before they ship? Hell no. How do you get folks to ship to you? Because I'm me. Could you do a live training with me on what? Sent you a message to your DM. Why? Um, man, some of these comments that I'm getting is just all right. You mentioned not asking too many questions, but what do you do when you keep running into people lying and trying to sell iCloud locked devices? You slap them. Nah, I'm kidding. Don't hit nobody. Um, I mean, I genuinely, so I do not believe that that's really happening. I don't believe that everybody that you speak to is trying to sell you iCloud locked devices. Um, yeah. And I mean, if you get to the meetup and it is, just give them a shit price. It's not like you can't resell it. You could still sell it, just really, really low. You know what I mean? None of that stuff matters. Now, if it's blacklisted, that's a completely different story. I don't really mess with phones that are reported lost or stolen, but if it's finance, cool. You could buy a finance phone with a bad ESN. Um, so yeah, I don't people that tell me, oh, everybody's selling iCloud lock, it's just not true. Like I'm from New York. I know there are a lot of people out there scheming and scamming. You could usually pick up on it if they're trying to waste your time, but even still, you could just ask them if they have anything else. If you get a vibe that their phone is locked and you don't really want to buy it, and then you could just buy something else. Somebody said half the time in my experience, eh, them lying and trying to sell iCloud lock phones. I don't know. I haven't. Most of my leads are actually trying to sell phones that, and I'm not saying people don't try to sell iCloud lock stuff because they do, but it's not a majority of the leads. It's definitely not a majority of the leads. All right. So this is another one.
Um, there's another one.
All right, let's take a look. Let's see. Scroll up.
So, here it is.
Is it locked to a cat? Okay, scroll down. That looks like a 14 Pro Max. It looks deep purple to me.
He said it's a 13 Pro Max 512
That look like
gigabyte.
a 13 Pro Max because they don't make those in purple.
He doesn't, yeah.
Is maybe the color, the angle he has it at? Okay, now it looks gold from the back. Um, so that's another thing, right? So if someone asks you for a price, I never tell them no and I don't make offers. So I paid 650, meet me halfway family at 600. I say something like, how am I supposed to do that? It'll fuck them up. You want to ask people questions that they don't normally hear. Like, how am I supposed to do that? What do you mean? Just give me cash. Well, you know, if I give you 600, that's normally what I pay for those phones in the box. Like I wouldn't have anywhere to sell it.
Okay.
Like you want to have a conversation more than just going back and making an offer. You don't want to make an offer. He already told you what he wants. It's your job to make him bring himself down. You make an offer if you absolutely have to, but avoid it at all costs. That's how I roll. I try not to make offers. I closed over the weekend. I sent I let a couple people know that their devices were not as described, and most of them took the new price. There were a few that wanted to fight about it, but their items were legit not as described. I even had a guy today. He sent me in a broken 13 Pro. It was like I paid $150 for it. One of them was showing up finance, so I sent him an email. I'm like, you need to pay the bill, and he said it's paid off. I told him I was like, ain't no way. Like I said there's no way that you
Yeah.
like. But I sure enough I checked it. He paid it off. So
Oh, really?
yeah, he paid it off. Because I was about to just cut the offer in half. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
whenever somebody's phone is financed, I cut the offer in half. But um, yeah, like it just went down like that. He paid it off, so he got what he was supposed to get.
Uh-huh.
And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, not everybody is out to get you. Not everybody is lying. Some people legit just don't know. And you can give them that option. Like, oh, is your phone's financed? All right, you trying to pay it off today? Let's get it unlocked. I'm happy to pay you whatever you want. You just got to get really good at talking to people and asking less questions and just trying to focus more on how you can put the money in their pocket.
Okay. Yeah, that definitely makes a lot
Is
of
this helpful?
sense. What?
Is this helpful at all? Like, did you? I
This
hope.
this was definitely like super super helpful because you kind of gave me like a guide, kind of like a step by step guide that I kind of like put in my brain by steps on like what to do differently now. And
Yes, yes.
but it did really help a lot.
Yeah, because it's important to understand why people are saying no, like why they're rejecting your
Yeah,
offer. Because the
yeah.
reality is, most people don't want offers. Most people want to go in, tell you how much they want for their phone, and that's it. You got to
Mhm.
try to help them get whatever amount it is that they need. That's your job. If you feel like it's your job to give them a quote, it's not. Like your job is not to give people a quote. Your job is to find out how much they want and help them get it. Rather it's because once you know the dollar amount, that gives you the power. Oh, I know that they need $700. If for whatever reason you get rejected at some point, you can then go in and find out why they need the money. And then you say, listen, I don't just buy iPhones. You know, if you sell me multiple items, we might be able to get you up to that $600 that you want for the 13 Pro Max. Unfortunately, I can't give you 600 just for that phone, but you got anything else for sale? I'm looking for more than just iPhones, but your ad just says iPhones. And this is why it's important to run multiple ads. You want to run ads to people. We buy iPads. We buy Samsungs, we buy tablets, we buy cameras, we buy drones, we buy gaming systems, we buy broken, used, new thermal printers, like all this crazy stuff. Because if you running ads for iPhones only, that's all you're gonna get. And if you want to become one of the top resellers in your area, you need to target other electronics.
Mhm. Okay.
Because I guarantee you, there is like less than 1% of flippers know how to buy something that's not an iPhone. Because most flippers don't know how to sell on eBay or they got banned on eBay. They don't know how to keep their account clean because a lot of guys get into the game and they'll buy brand new phones and they'll sell them on eBay and that's how they get blocked. eBay does not want you selling brand new stuff. eBay is great for used and broken stuff. If you're selling new stuff, eBay is going to ask you for invoices, and you're not getting invoices when you're buying new phones. You're
Yeah.
typically buying them from people that don't have any receipts, and eBay is going to ask you for it because they don't want to be a fence.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that makes sense. What was I gonna say? Forgot
We
what
could
I
do
was gonna...
more, and then I'm going to wrap it up because I'm getting really hungry.
All right. Forgot what I was gonna say. Let me see. I'm not sure where the other ones are at. Um, but they're all generally kind of like the same exact thing. But I feel like all the ones I sent you a couple, but I feel like all the ones that you just went over kind of already answer the other ones that I would have had.
Cool.
So it's all kind of making sense now.
Good. 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 I'm
What?
excited to see a week from now
Yeah,
uh
me too.
progress that you make. The last person that I did one of these lives with, they hit me up like a week later and their business, it's crazy, like how much of
Really?
it changed. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of
It-
progress.
For Apple Watches, is I know nothing about Apple Watches, or I don't really know anything about iPads. Or is there like a carrier lock? Like What do I
Okay,
have to know about
so
Apple Watches?
uh, all Apple Watches and iPads come unlocked.
Okay, so there's not really like a carrier lock or an unlock. It's just
No, they
like
come on. They come unlocked typically. They can typically there are times where they can be financed, but it's not it's not typical. And you can always just run the serial number on the back of the watch and find out.
okay,
Uh, if it's GPS only, it can't be unlocked because there's no carrier. It has to have cellular data in order to be unlocked. But typically the cellular data ones come unlocked for any carrier. I had one that was I bought it and then the guy reported it stolen like a year later. So I wasn't able to use it. That's the only time that I know that the watches relock or just get weird. But outside of that, I don't know that Apple Watches come locked or iPads either. It's
hmm.
very rare that you see one because I just don't think that they come locked. I could be wrong, but I don't think that they come locked.
So are iPads kind of like the same thing as phones? It's just like I don't understand like the whole Wi-Fi and cellular
Yeah, you
part.
can make calls on them. You
Really?
can make call, yeah, you can make and receive phone calls on an iPad.
Okay.
It's weird. I know it's weird, but you can make and receive phone calls on an iPad.
All right.
Oh
So
man, today.
so pretty much I have a sheet for like the Apple Watches, so it's pretty much there's no really factors. It's kind of like obviously just offer 50 below the sheet. It's not really like carrier locked, unlocked, or whatever, right?
Well, as far as pricing, I wouldn't stick to numbers like 50 below the sheet and things like that unless that's your target profit. I would focus more on whatever the lead tells you, offering them as much as possible. So like if they say mint condition, give them an A grade price. And then, give them like I would say probably like 30 or 40 below A grade. And then when you get to the meetup and their phone is not A grade, that's when you can hit them hard on the B grade pricing.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that helps a lot.
When someone tells you their phone is mint, you want to be as close to broke as possible. What I mean when I say that, you want to give them a really high offer.
Hmm.
If you have to make an offer, like I said, always you want to start asking them how much they want. But if you have to make an offer, you want it to be almost like you're not making any profit at all. And if you do make profit, very, very small, like $30, $40,
Okay.
right? Because the chance it's risk reward, high risk, high reward. The chances of them actually giving you an A grade device is very slim because people misuse the word mint condition. I had a guy try and argue with me earlier. He's like, "Oh, if you change the battery, the phone is like new." I said, "Bro, your phone has scratches on the charger port. They don't come out the box
Yeah.
like that."
Yeah.
And he's like, "But your offer is really low." I said, "Okay." I said, "You know what? How about you take the battery to Apple, get it fixed, and then send the phone back to me? I'll be happy to give you the price that you want then." And he hasn't
Mhm.
responded yet, but I know he will. But that's part of being a skilled negotiator. Like, I'm not arguing with him. I'm just telling him like it is. Listen, but remember, this is in my situation. This at the meetup is when I get the phone. So this is my at the meetup. I got it in. I looked at it. He said it was mint, and it's not mint. And now I'm letting him know, hey, listen, his battery was about to be in service mode. Like, bro, you like, come on.
Yeah.
Battery's about to be in service mode, and your phone has scratches on it. I was like, this is not mint. This is what I normally buy these phones for. Oh, that's too low. I want the original. You can just pay me what you originally offered me. I was like, you know what? I'm good. I'll send it back. He was like, why? Like, so, and if I'm at an actual meetup and I'm trying to talk to somebody and they trying to go back and forth, at that point, I'll just get up and be like, you know what? It's all good. You could try to sell a phone elsewhere. Respectfully, I'm not giving you whatever price we agreed on initially. And that's also a tactic. You have to be willing to walk away from the deal. You have to be.
Yeah.
Like people, oh shit, like he's getting up and walking away. Like, oh wow, like you're not even gonna
Yeah.
negotiate. Like,
Yeah.
so you got to be willing to do that stuff. And I've done that. And it typically like 9 out of 10 times people be like, all right, you know what, chill, sit down. I want to sell you the phone. And then you get the deal.
Hmm. Yeah, this definitely helped me a lot. Like
Good,
just like all your tips that you're giving me and everything, it definitely really opened me up to like what I could do differently now.
good,
So I
good.
really appreciate that.
Don't mention it, man. No problem at all. Glad I could help.
Is there, can I watch this video back on
Yeah,
your,
it's gonna be posted in the group.
all right,
The replay is it's gonna be in the group soon.
okay.
Yeah, it probably take like an hour to, or well, not an hour. I'm exaggerating. It'll probably take a couple minutes, and then you'll be able to watch the replay.
All right, perfect.
All right. Was there anything else you wanted to ask me?
Um, Not really. I think we really went over everything that I got in mind right now.
All right, sounds good. So I'm gonna hop off, and I'll see you next time. For anybody interested in taking my training is $9 a month. Um, that's less than Netflix. If you can invest in your education, I don't know what to tell you. If you would like one-on-one training, that is not $9 a month, but you could shoot me a DM and we could schedule a call. I do these lives every week where I pick one person from the group that needs help with their business, and or they're in one of my classes, my one-on-one mentorship program, or my $9 a month class. Either way, I get on the live with you guys and I help you grow your business. So if you guys need anything, like I said, send me a message on Facebook. My name's Feldon, Instagram, NYC Phone Buyer, and I'll see you guys next Monday at 8 p.m. East. Peace.